Juglans regia, Persian walnut, English walnut, or especially in Great Britain, common walnut, is an Old World walnut tree species native to the region stretching from the Balkans eastward to the Himalayas and southwest China. The largest forests are in Kyrgyzstan, where trees occur in extensive, nearly pure walnut forests at 1,000 to 2,000 m altitude notably at Arslanbob and Jalal-Abad Province. It is widely cultivated across Europe. Description: Juglans regia is a large, deciduous tree attaining heights of 25 to 35 m, and a trunk up to 2 m diameter, commonly with a short trunk and broad crown, though taller and narrower in dense forest competition. It is a light-demanding species, requiring full sun to grow well. The bark is smooth, olive-brown when young and silvery gray on older branches, and features scattered broad fissures with a rougher texture. Like all walnuts, the pith of the twigs contains air spaces. This chambered pith is brownish in color. The leaves are alternately arranged, 25 to 40 cm long, odd pinnate with 5 to 9 leaflets, paired alternately with one terminal leaflet. The largest leaflets are the three at the apex, 10 to 18 cm long and 6 to 8 cm broad. The basal pair of leaflets are much smaller, 5 to 8 cm long, with the margins of the leaflets entire. The male flowers are in drooping catkins 5 to 10 cm long, and the female flowers are terminal, in clusters of 2 to 5, ripening in the autumn into a fruit with a green, semifleshy husk and a brown, corrugated nut. The whole fruit, including the husk, falls in autumn. The seed is large, with a relatively thin shell, and edible, with a rich flavor. Etymology: the Latin name for the walnut was Nux gallica, Gallic nut. The Gaulish region of Galatia in Anatolia lies in highlands at the western end of the tree's presumed natural distribution. For the etymology and meaning of the word in English and other Germanic languages, see walnut. Walnut does not distinguish the tree from other species of juglans. Other names include common walnut in Britain, Persian walnut in South Africa and Australia, and English walnut in North America and Great Britain, New Zealand, and Australia, the latter name possibly because English sailors were prominent in Juglans regia nut distribution at one time. Alternatively, Walter Fox Allen stated in his 1912 treatise What You Need to Know About Planting, Cultivating and Harvesting This Most Delicious of Nuts, in America, it has commonly been known as English walnut to distinguish it from our native species. In the Chinese language, the edible, cultivated walnut is called E. florin, which means literally hoop peach, suggesting the ancient Chinese associated the introduction of the tree into East Asia with the Hu barbarians of the regions north and northwest of China. In Mexico, it is called Nogal de Castilla, suggesting the Mexicans associated the introduction of the tree into Mexico with Spaniards from Castile. The Old English term wheel neuter is a late book name, so the remark that the Anglo-Saxons inherited the walnut tree from the Romans does not follow from this name. Old English, whale neuter is wealh plus neutu. Etymologically it meant the nut of the Roman lands as distinguished from the native hazel according to the Oxford English Dictionary. Distribution and habitat. Original habitat Juglans regia is native to the mountain ranges of Central Asia, extending from Xinjiang province of western China, parts of Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan and southern Kyrgyzstan and from lower ranges of mountains in Nepal, Bhutan, Tibet, northern India, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, through Afghanistan, Turkmenistan and Iran to portions of Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia and eastern Turkey. In these countries, there is a great genetic diversity, in particular ancestral forms with lateral fruiting. During its migration to Western Europe, the common walnut lost this character and became large trees with terminal fruiting. A small remnant population of these J. regia trees have survived the last glacial period in southern Europe, but the bulk of the wild germplasm found in the Balkan Peninsula and much of Turkey was most likely introduced from eastern Turkey by commerce and settlement several thousand years ago. Introduction around the world In the 4th century BC, Alexander the Great introduced this Persian nut in Macedonian and Greek ancestral forms with lateral fruiting from Iran and Central Asia. They hybridized with terminal-bearing forms to give lateral-bearing trees with larger fruit. These lateral bearers were spread in southern Europe and northern Africa by Romans. Recent prospections in walnut populations of the Mediterranean basin allowed to select interesting trees of this type. In the Middle Ages, the lateral-bearing character was introduced again in southern Turkey by merchants traveling along the Silk Road. J. regia germplasm in China is thought to have been introduced from Central Asia about 2,000 years ago, and in some areas has become naturalized. Cultivated J. regia was introduced into Western and Northern Europe very early, in Roman times or earlier, and to the Americas in the 17th century, by English colonists. Important nut-growing regions include France, Serbia, Greece, Bulgaria, Romania and Hungary in Europe. China in Asia. Baja California and Coahuila in Mexico, and Chile in Latin America. Lately, cultivation has spread to other regions, such as New Zealand and the southeast of Australia. It is cultivated extensively from 30° to 50° of latitude in the northern hemisphere and from 30° to 40° in the southern hemisphere. Its high-quality fruits are eaten both fresh or pressed for their richly flavored oil. Numerous cultivars have been selected for larger nuts with thinner shells. It is also cultivated as a handsome ornamental specimen tree in parks and large gardens. As such, it has gained the Royal Horticultural Society's Award of Garden Merit. Cultivars see list of most planted cultivars in article. Walnut, J. regia buccaneer produces an abundant crop of seeds. A self-fertile cultivar, it produces pollen over a long period and is thus a valuable pollinator for other cultivars. The tree is about the same size as an open-pollinated walnut, it comes into leaf very late and so usually avoids damage by late frosts. Life cycle. Nutritional value. A study of 10 cultivars of J. regia in Turkey showed significant variations in fatty acid content of the nuts, 62%-71% fat, saturated fat, 5.2%-7.3% palmitate, 2.6%-3.7% stearate. Unsaturated fat, 21.2%-40.2% oleate, 43.9%-60.1% linoleate, 6.9%-11.5% linolenate. Potential biological effects. Walnuts and other tree nuts are important food allergen sources that have the potential to be associated with life-threatening, IgE-mediated allergic reactions in some individuals. Certain extracts of walnuts have in vitro antioxidant and antiproliferative activity due to a high phenolic content. Juglans regia is used to treat diabetes mellitus symptoms in Austrian traditional medicine, whereby air-dried leaves are used as aqueous decoction or liquor preparation and are consumed on a daily basis. Culture. In Skopelos, a Greek island in the Aegean Sea, local legend suggests whoever plants a walnut tree will die as soon as the tree can see the sea. Most planting is done by field rats. In Flanders, a folk saying states, by the time the tree is big, the planter surely will be dead. These sayings refer to the relatively slow growth rate and late fruiting of the tree. Benevento in southern Italy is the home of an ancient tradition of stregoneria. The witches of Benevento were reputed to come from all over Italy to gather for their sabbats under the sacred walnut tree of Benevento. This legend inspired many cultural works, including the 1812 ballet Il Noc di Benevento by Salvatore Vergana squared and Franz Xaver Czar 1/4 SSMAYR, a theme from which was adapted into a violin piece called Le Strighi by Nicolas squared Paganini. The Beneventan liqueur Striga depicts on its label the famous walnut tree with the witches dancing under it. In rural villages of the Ravine region of western Serbia, the head of household would crack a walnut on Christmas morning. If the walnut was sound, it was thought that the coming year would be prosperous. If the walnut was shriveled, the head of household would avert the bad omen by running 3 times around his house, at the same time shouting what could be paraphrased as "Do not listen, God, to Jack, who is full of cack." Cultivation. Walnut trees grow best in rich, deep soil with full sun and long summers, such as the California Central Valley. In the U.S., J. regia is often grafted onto a rootstock of a native black walnut, Juglans hindsia, to provide disease resistance. Other plants often will not grow under walnut trees because the fallen leaves and husks contain juglan, a chemical which acts as a natural herbicide. Horses that eat walnut leaves may develop laminitis, a hoof ailment. Mature trees may reach 50 feet in height and width, and live more than 200 years, developing massive trunks more than 8 feet thick. Other uses: walnut heartwood is a heavy, hard, open-grained hardwood. Freshly cut livewood may be Dijon mustard color, darkening to brown over a few days. The dried lumber is a rich chocolate brown to black, with cream to tan sapwood, and may feature unusual figures, such as curly, bee's wing, bird's eye, and rat tail, among others. It is prized by fine woodworkers for its durability, luster and chatoyance, and is used for high-end flooring, guitars, furniture, veneers, knobs and handles, as well as gunstocks. See also: black walnut, taxonomy of walnut tree varieties. Notes. References: Flora Europaea, Juglans regia, Flora of Pakistan, Juglans regia, Chauhan, N., Wang, K.C., Weigel, J. and Malik, M.N. Walnut extract inhibits the fibrillization of amyloid beta protein, and also defibrillizes its preformed fibrils. Current Alzheimer research, 1, pages 183–188, Hemery, G. E. Walnut seed collecting expedition to Kyrgyzstan in Central Asia. Quarterly Journal of Forestry 92, 153–157. Society for Neuroscience. News release: Diet of walnuts, blueberries improve cognition. May help maintain brain function. Society for Neuroscience, November 5, 2007, E. Flores, Missouri Botanical Garden and Harvard University Herbaria. Juglans regia. Retrieved 2009. External links.